Welcome to the Tom Driver Show. Pat O'Melia here on GGR Radio, via Live 365. If you haven't, download the Live 365 app. Hopefully you have, because you're listening to the show. But tell your friends, download the app. You can listen to all the programming we have here on GGR, and there's a ton of other programs. There's music programs, all sorts of radio station on Live 365, very similar to mine. We're in a talk format, but it's a lot of music. You got video game, radio shows, D&D. There's a lot on Live 365, and it's international radio, so both multiple languages. There's a lot going on Live 365. So when you download the Live 365 app, put in GGR, Good Government Radio, and voila, here we are. Today we're going to talk about some of the local businesses in Tom's River. We're going to talk about Elon Musk. Looks like he's going to do about another month with Doge, and then he's going to work a couple days a week, because the Tesla people are saying, you got to get back here. Tesla stock has gone down. It's starting to climb back up. If you have money, as I said to people with the tariffs, buy now, because Tesla stock's going to come back. It's the largest automotive manufacturer in the world, and it's all manufactured here in the United States. We have a wildfire we're going to talk about. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot we did with the local businesses in Tom's River that I want to talk about, and we got the NFL draft, all that and more when I come back from the commercial. Again, you're listening to the Tom's River Show here on GGR. We'll be right back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
We're back. You're listening to the Tom's River Radio Show here. I'm Pat O'Melia on GGR. As I was saying before, let's start with Elon. And so I saw a little national stuff, Donald Trump and Elon. Mostly everybody in Tom's River, Republicans, so you want to hear this. The big thing is still going on about the guy that was deported to San Salvador. He's in the prison down there. First, he was the Maryland man. They stopped saying that. Now he deserves due process. He had due process. And it's funny how we keep ignoring everything. This guy who's been in front of the courts, he's been pulled over for human trafficking. He had like 8 guys in a car. He was trafficking them. They all had his address. There is a preponderance of evidence concerning this guy being a gang member, being involved in human trafficking. His wife had retaining orders against him. He beat up his wife. He's not the kind of person we need in the United States. Bad enough we got enough of our own bad people. We don't need other countries' bad people here. But it's amazing how everybody will ignore the facts. It's almost like O.J. Remember the O.J. case where there was no doubt that O.J. committed the murders? Not a doubt. But remember, the glove didn't fit, but the glove was sitting there for like a year in the evidence box, so it shrunk. If the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. People just ignored all that. He's innocent, they made up for Rodney King and all that stuff. The guy murdered somebody, but we ignored, or we just didn't want to pay attention to the evidence, except for Norm Macdonald with the SNL, and he lost his job over that. That's the same thing that's happened here. That guy's been in front of the courts. He had a deportation order. The only reason they stopped the deportation is he said his life was in danger if he went back to San Salvador. But he still can continue to commit whatever crimes. He was in trouble. He was caught in a gang sweep with MS-13 members. The guy is definitely a gangbanger. And we have these bleeding. This is why the Democrats, I don't want to say they're dead. There might be a zombie uprising someday of the Democrats, but right now they're dead. They are off the mark. You just had another situation where an illegal immigrant was driving drunk and killed some people in the car. There's so many cases of this. Again, not every immigrant is a criminal, but the ones that are, we got to get rid of them. They got to go back. And I applaud Trump for doing this. Now remember, Obama deported more people than Trump did. He was like the leading deporter of people. Just that Trump is making it a mission, and it's what you elected him for, to handle the immigration. Yeah, crossing the border, that's kind of stopped altogether now. They know that there's no welcome sign out there that you had under Biden. But it amazes me how many of the news, major media outlets, they're just ignoring what happened in the courts with this guy. They're ignoring what the guy did with his wife. They're ignoring all the intelligence that we had on this guy. Yeah, they're ignoring actual markings the guy had. It makes me think about O.J. Simpson, how we just ignored all the evidence that was involved with O.J. But eventually, in the end, he was sued civilly and pretty much lost everything but his NFL pension. And, of course, he's passed on now. Now, man, Elon Musk. I don't know Elon well. I respect him. Yeah, the guy, PayPal, that's one of his. Ford Tesla, made Tesla the largest auto manufacturer in the world, the richest company, automotive manufacturer in the world. He's got SpaceX. He's rescuing astronauts. He's going back and forth to space all the time with SpaceX. You got Neuralink, which is really something that doesn't get enough credit, where people will get the use of their limbs again, eyesight. It is amazing what Neuralink does. In the next 10 years, there'll be some real breakthroughs with Neuralink. And this guy knows money. Twitter is another thing. What he did with Twitter, basically what he did with Twitter is what he's talking about doing with the federal government. He cut out the waste. When he bought Twitter, they had a tremendous amount of waste. I think he got rid of 75% of the workforce. They had people that their only job was to get croissants in the morning. All that was cut out. That's what he's doing here, Elon. He's cutting out fraud and waste. And people are giving him a hard time about that. Now, a small minority of people are giving a hard time about it, but the media outlets keep jumping on it. We want to eliminate fraud and waste. It's your taxpayer dollars. And again, it's not something Trump dreamt up on his own. Obama said he was going to do that. Clinton said he was going to do that. Reagan said it. Just that Trump is doing it through Elon Musk. Now, Elon, Tesla's stock is hurt. You got people vandalizing Teslas. Why? That's another thing. I buy a Tesla. It is my property. It's not Elon's property anymore. Don't come scratching up my car. They just caught this guy. He's an aide to Waltz, the guy that ran with Kamala Harris, Minnesota governor, scratching the hell out of somebody's Tesla, like $20,000 worth of damage. And he's getting a diversion program. But he's got to make restitution for the damage. That's not Elon's car. That's my car. That's like you saying you got a problem with General Motors, so I'm going to smash up Pat Chevy over there. No, that's not doing anything. No matter what these knuckleheads do. And also, how stupid do you want to be when you see the footage that the Teslas have cameras all over the place? You're vandalizing a Tesla. That car has you on film, on tape, on chip, whatever it is, tape, film, chip. And they're going to catch you. The guy's firebombing these things, Tesla dealerships. You're not hurting, believe me. You're not going to hurt Elon. Guy's got to get $800 billion. He's set for life. He's set for eternity. A lot of lifetimes. But he's going to take, going back to Tesla, he's got to get right to ship there. And if anybody's going to right the ship when it comes to money, it's Elon Musk. When he talks money, if Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk starts talking money, you listen. Whatever they say, let's do it. It's probably going to work out for us. But he's going to go back to Tesla. I think his appointment expires at the end of May, and he's going to work like 1-2 days a week, coordinating with the government on cutting waste and fraud. Hopefully, he stays there and does it as much as he can. All right, let me take one more commercial break here. You're listening to Tom's River Radio Show. I'll be right back.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
We're back. You listen to Pat O'Melia here on the Tom's River Radio Show via GGR on Live 365. Don't forget, tell your friends to download the app. Wildfire down in Waretown there in Lacey. Yeah, I have a studio in North Bergen. Got an office in Tom's River. I was up in North Bergen Tuesday, and we're going down to Seaside. And yeah, I'm on the turnpike. I'm in a bubble because we're taping shows, so I'm not paying attention to what's going on in the outside world. Get in the car, pick up my wife, heading down to Seaside. Get on the turnpike, and then we start hearing reports of a fire. Normally, these fires are the controlled burns they do in Ocean County, which completely go out of control. I said, oh, another one of these controlled burns that went bad driving along, and they start getting the enormity of this fire. And now you're starting to get reports that the Parkway is closed from exit 63 up to 80. Route 9 is closed both directions. People are waiting hours and hours trying to get home. And I'm barreling into this on the turnpike and getting onto the Parkway. I just had the tires balanced on my Oldsmobile, my 31-year-old old Oldsmobile I drove up on Tuesday. I like to take it out every so often. She did real well. She's flying along at 80, 90 miles. So I'm shooting down there. I want to get down there before everything backs up. Now I'm starting to think traffic's going to be backed up. I'm trying to get off at 80, exit 82. And the whole time I got 101.5 on, and people were talking about being stuck in traffic. But nobody said they were stuck before exit 82. So I'm there. Come on, man, keep going this way. Unfortunately, get down there, no problem. Get off 82, get on Route 37 west, boom, boom. No issue. But there was a lot of issue for a lot of people. Fortunately, they managed to control this. It's about 50% controlled now. No homes were lost, because even in my notes here, as I was writing for the show yesterday, thinking if some people have lost some property or there's damages, maybe we can do a telethon, TV or radio or both. For that matter, we're working on simulcasting shows here today on radio and TV. Fortunately, it doesn't appear any structures or personal property was lost. But they did lock up a guy, a 19-year-old kid. He was burning pallets. I don't know, he was having a bonfire for himself. And he left, obviously, he left the pallets burning, or he didn't extinguish the fires properly or sufficiently. And that caught on fire, and it caught up again. And you have 13,000 acres of land scorched. So they got this kid in custody. Ocean County prosecutor did a press release on it this morning. I don't know what you do with him. There's billions and millions and millions of dollars in damage. We'll see how this goes. I don't know if the kid did it purposely. He just didn't follow the advice of Smokey the Bear to make sure the fire's out. Why the hell are you carrying pallets over there to set a bonfire anyway? But fortunately, it looks like just trees, forest, and probably some wildlife, but no loss of human life or property that I've heard so far. So that's very positive. So you'll know more by the time I come back next week as to what was going on out there. But the Jones Road wildfire, it's 50% contained now. You can still smell some of the smoke. But good job by all the first responders, all the fire departments, everybody dropping water, helicopters. Excellent job. For that matter, maybe I'll reach out for some of these guys. Maybe we can bring them on the radio. I'd swing over to school funding in Tom's River. School funding in Jersey in particular. There was no good situation anywhere. And I don't know who to blame here. I guess we got to blame the state. They come up with these formulas, and it's like some witch's brew they made up, because it doesn't seem to work for anyone, unless you're Union City. The only city I know that did well with school funding is Brian Stack, Senator Brian Stack, Mayor Brian Stack, guy I've known for 30 years. He did well with school funding. He got more school funding than the city of Jersey City, which is like 5 times the size of Union City. He did well there. The rest of everybody else has got their hand on their butt, you know what I mean? And now you're here in Plainfield. They were talking about a 36% increase in school taxes. They're backing off on that right now. Lacey is considering eliminating all school sports. That's a horrible thing to do to the students. And it all comes down to money. Tom's River, they're selling their headquarters to Ocean County. Which, the more you look at this, is a bad deal. Because Ocean County's now got to convert this whole thing into the sheriff's department, the whole of record. Ocean County's better off building a facility from scratch. What Ocean County should be doing to help Tom's River is, yes, buy the headquarters, get some money into Tom's River, which is only plugging the budget hole for this year. Next year, you're back with your hand on your butt. What am I doing here? Give them the money and do a lease purchase, lease it back to the Tom's River school system. Somewhere along the line, we'll figure out how to get out of this hole. What I'd like to see, I would like to see the state right now kick this can down the road. Fund the schools for the rest of this year. We fund every friggin' thing in New Jersey. One of the things I was talking about, one of a guests we had on the city show, about we need to do a reset. Go back to what we were doing 20 years ago and start from there. Yeah, we didn't have these crazy budgets 20 years ago. Restart what we had 20 years ago. We'll go with that and examine every other program or plan we put into effect or initiative or incentive, whatever we came up with since then. Fund the schools for this year. Kick the can down the road till we have a new governor in place for next year. You know, whether it's Citarelli, my personal friend Stephen Fulop, another guy I know well, Steve Sweeney, any of these guys, let them deal with this. Let them make this a priority for when they get to Trenton. Maybe I should try to put together a forum here where we just nail them down on this, because this has to stop. We didn't have this problem 4 or 5 years ago. Now we have this problem. Now, I don't know if we're diverting money that would have went to the schools, to some of these other programs we have. There's a lot of bleeding, a lot of programs that we have. That's why I'm saying probably go back to what we did 20 years ago and hit a reset button there. But back 20 years. Back to the future kind of thing. Went to the past. That's the only thing that makes sense here. Because you can't have schools dropping the sports, schools selling their property, schools selling schools. There are actually districts that are selling their schools to plug a budget hole. And the problem is that's a one-shot deal. Next year, you're still looking at a problem. That has to be addressed immediately. Whatever the state can do, again, look at other programs we're probably pouring lots of money into and stop that and concentrate on, the kitchen table issues that everybody has in their homes. Education's a big part of those kitchen table issues. Concentrate on that. Make sure the kids get an education. Make sure the kids can play sports. The children are our future, as Whitney Houston's song said. And it's really the truth. We got to give them the best education. But we also got to look at the expenses there. Now, I concentrate a lot on Jersey City. Jersey City, it's costing $36,000 a year to educate a kid. That's a ridiculous amount of money. And most of our classes have like 30 kids in there. That's a ridiculous amount of money. This grammar school I went to in Jersey City, PS 23, that costs $58 million a year to operate. How the hell is that effing possible for a grammar school? It's a big grammar school. There's like 1,300 kids in there. $58 million a year. What you need to do, a couple of things. You got to look at every penny we're spending on the schools. I will take the school's budgets, the school teacher salaries off the table. Non-negotiable. Maybe they should even get more money. My daughter's a teacher, so I'll go with more money. Everything else has to be examined. Every nickel that's being spent, why is it spent, how is it being spent? Why aren't there more shared services with the municipalities and the schools? The other thing is we have 565 school districts. We have more school districts than we have schools. We have more school districts than we have municipalities. That doesn't make sense. We have 21 counties. We're going to have 21 school districts. Every one of those school districts have salaries and benefits and pensions all attached to it. 565 of them. There's something wrong there. They just had the thing on NJ 101.5. Percentage of the municipal budget that goes to schools. There was somewhere like 70% of the municipal budget goes to schools. You got to look at this. That can't be right. It can't cost, in Jersey City's case, $36,000. I think in Tom's River, I think it was $16,500. That's the problem right off the bat. An hour away, I go from $36,000 to $16,500. And they're going to get a good education in Tom's River. They got the same kind of schools, playing ball, playing sports, football, baseball. They got teachers and they got laboratories and gyms and all that. Same thing. They're not paying rent. They don't pay property taxes on that. So I don't know what the situation. That's why we need 21 school districts. It shouldn't cost twice as much in Jersey City when you're not paying property taxes or rent or anything. than it does in Tom's River. Somewhere along the line, public schools have to be treated as one. 36,000 in Jersey City and 16,000 in Tom's River doesn't make sense. And we're not giving them the 16,000 anymore. So all that has to change. And really what we need to do is kick that can. Let Murphy kick this can down the road for now, this year. Fund the schools and let the Fullups or the Spillers or the Citarellis, the Spadias, the Russ Baracas, Mikey Sherrill, possibly Gottheimer. I don't know what happened with that guy. He came out with a blaze, and like I said a couple of weeks ago, it's like somebody grabbed him by the back of his collar and whoop, pulled him back. You're no longer a front runner. And he disappeared in this racket. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You listen to the Tom's River Show. I'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
We're back. Tom's River Show here. Pat O'Meara on GGR. Let's talk about some of the local businesses in Tom's River. I'm purchasing a Ford Transit Connect van. I'm teaching high school students studio production and radio production. And we're getting this Ford Transit Connect van as our control van when we're on location shoots, when the kids are calling baseball games. Now, I want to have a couple of kids calling the sports, somebody to do the play-by-play, somebody to do the analysis. We got it set up, pretty much part of my radio set here that we're working, we're orientating it now. We're figuring out how we want to lay out this radio set. Once we get the format, this folding table, the laptops, the switches, and mixers we got, that'll all go in the van. And when the kids go to whatever baseball field, football field, or whatever the event is, a high school graduation, we're going to be filming a new junior high school that's opening this September in North Bergen. For that matter, one of my old guys that working in the studio right now, Jonathan, he was out there filming when they started tearing the school apart. Now they're almost ready to open it up. Probably drag Jonathan to film it. It's a pretty huge school. So we got to come up with a strategy, how to take my kids and just not walk through. We're going to figure out Group A films here, Group B, Group C, but the van will be a part of that. We could take all our equipment there, and the idea is our video streaming and switches. We'll have shelves in there where the kids can sit in the van, do the switch camera 1, camera 2, camera 3 sort of thing, or whatever we're doing with the video audio mixes. We needed a van. So I was looking all over for a van. I'm knocking on people's doors. When I did not need a Chevy Astro van or a Ford Transit Connect, they were cutting me off on the road with for sale signs in the back window. Now that I was looking for one, couldn't find them. But I found one at Eppie's. I was Michael's and Eppie's. Michael's and Sons on Route 37 and Eppie's on Route 37. I went with Eppie's, more money, but it was lower mileage, 54,000 clean. So we put the down payment on it with Kenny from Kenny's Used Cars. He had a place on Fisher. He's working with Eppie's now. So I took the van over. I drove it. There were some issues I felt. I brought it over to my guys at CNC, Chris and Pat over there. They checked it out, and they found some issues. They made a list, and we brought the car back to Eppie's. It's a used car. You're going to find things that are wrong. Eppie's elected to repair. He's got his own repair shop. That's fine. Friday, Kenny is going to bring it over to CNC, and we want to make sure the repairs are done properly. Listen, I'm paying good money here. I want to make sure the repair. I trust Eppie's got a great reputation, but you do your due diligence. So it's going back over to CNC over on Clifton Avenue there. Right behind Tommy V's. Also, they have a ammo store, gun and ammo. You need to buy a gun and ammo, you can buy it there. They're doing that. Business is really taking off too, so they're doing quite well with it. So hopefully, this weekend everything checks out. I'm working with my insurance guy who has not gotten back to me yet because it's a not-for-profit. It's not the Hudson Media Group, so we got to insure the car under the not-for-profit. So hopefully we get that done. Tomorrow, I'm taking my little Chevy Evo to get new tires again. Tom's River. I went to Mr. Tire on 166. I went over to Firestone. I like Firestone tires. I got them on my Lincoln. I got like 100,000 miles on those tires. They never even had a flat. Great tires. And I'm a member of BJ's. So I brought the car over to BJ's. BJ's had the price. So I'm getting the tires done there at BJ's over there on Route 37. Always, whatever you do, always get prices. I wanted Firestone or Cooper tires, but because of the size of the tires, 185/60/R14, I didn't have a lot of choice, so I had to go with Uniroyals, Tiger Paws. That's what I got on my Oldsmobile, so that's okay. So I'll keep you posted on that. I'm getting 4 new tires and wheel alignment at BJ's tomorrow. Local businesses, by the way, again, I'm going to emphasize this with Eppes. You can't find a better place to buy a used car. Eppes was straight up with everything. Kenny and Chris there at Eppes. They let you take the car, get it checked out. They bring it over to CNC. And Pat and Chris, tough getting cars approved with these guys. They're going to check everything. And I said, sometimes I think Pat hates cars, to be honest with you. But he'll find whatever's wrong, he's going to find it, which is what you want. So, believe me, if you're looking for a used car, go over to Eppes. Cigar convenience on Route 37. When I'm down in Toms River, I get my lottery tickets there. It's a nice store. Young guys trying to make a buck. You get your lottery tickets there. You get your cigars, hookahs. They got like a big humidor for the cigars in there. You get your vapes if you're in the vapes. You got a lot of grab-and-go stuff there, coffee, newspapers, candy, chips, all that kind of thing. Lottery, they got every lottery in there, every scratch-off you can imagine. Birthday cards, candy, chips, drinks, cleaning stuff, whatever you need. They even got live bait in there. There's frozen live baits. I don't know how it's live if it's frozen. But it's a couple of young guys. They're trying to make a buck there. And you got a Samarra, that Mediterranean place where the couple's house was, next to where Brandon, Let's Go Brandon, in that little facility. We stopped in there. Great onion rings there. They also have a place in Seaside Heights. They'll be opening up in Seaside Heights, I think, the end of May. But after the season, they're going to demo the building you're in. Again, another 2 young guys. For that matter, I told them, you got an issue with Seaside Heights, I gave them my number. Give me a call. If I can help young guys get successful in business, I'll do it. I'm a firm believer. If I can help someone, I'm going to help that person. Even though I didn't even know these guys. They're just like the onion rings there. But if I can help them get open in Seaside Heights as quickly as possible, I will. For that matter, I was at the Sika Modular Homes yesterday, trying to convince my daughters to develop on the property they have there and build a couple of 2-family homes. The way the property values are going, I don't mind putting the kids in debt. You build 2 of these, sell one of them, and boom, you're covered. You got your investment, and everything is already paid for. You got from the money from the one sale. But that matter, that little Chevy. The reason I had this little Chevy Avo, actually I got 2. I got one I keep in Seaside Heights. I run around down there. I need a car when I'm going back and forth to North Bergen that can give me mileage. And the little Chevy Avo can do 35. It did 32 miles to a gallon so far. I think a little tweaking, I can get it up to the 35. And that's my goal. Now, you got the NFL draft. I'm taping this for a replay. I'm guaranteeing you, the Sanders kid will probably drop all the way down to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And how sure I am of this, if you look at my tweets from 3 weeks ago, you'll see that I say that he will drop to the Steelers, and it's questionable if the Steelers would take him. This kid made a wide decision not being at the draft because it's going to be a long night in the green room if he was there. All right, we're about running out of time. We did Elon. We talked about the businesses there, the Ford Direct, Eppes. We talked about San Salvador. For that matter, I'm trying to talk to people about starting their own Toms River show. I would more than happy to relinquish this to a Toms River resident. So I'm in touch with one now. You can do the show from home. You don't have to do it in the studio. But it makes it a lot easier if you do it in the studio. All right, I'm at a show. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.